breakup happen? So I thought it was pretty clear when we left things off. He was supposed to come back for a long visit, and he texted me and said he couldn't come. And so I tried to wait a couple days and, like, you know, just my usual check-ins, good morning, baby, whatever. And finally, when I pressed him and I was like, what's going on? He was like, take care, and then a peace sign emoji.
Friend, like, and I get this because she makes fun of me. I'm real big on closure, right? Like, I need closure. She was very depressed. Like, it affected her. Like,
Yeah, you see, I don't know if I really believe that Veronica was depressed when Jamal decided to, you know, leave the relationship. For me personally, that sounds a bit too far-fetched. I mean, listen, does it really matter how long they were together? Not necessarily, because sometimes people can be together for a short period of time and things can still become very strong, and then when that person leaves, yeah, of course, it can still make an impact. But I really don't believe that was the case. I mean, look at it this way, right? Veronica's a woman that's, what, 37 now, I imagine? Maybe 36, 37, 38, something like that. And, you know, at that age in her life, can you still get depressed by a breakup? Absolutely. But generally speaking, that would more likely happen depending on how serious that relationship was, and also, you know, obviously how, you know, impactful those feelings were. Now, here's the thing, though. If we really analyze Veronica's behavior in the relationship, her behavior doesn't tell me that she was in love with this person. Not at all. It tells me that she had care for him. It tells me that she was attracted to him. It tells me that maybe she had a form of love for him, but never to the extent of where if you walked away, she was going to be depressed. That is ridiculous to say, you know? I mean, I don't know why Tim's even saying that, to be honest with you. And then why Veronica's even sitting there and being like, make those sense to me, because generally speaking, if she was in love with him, she probably would have been more annoyed with certain things. And most importantly, she would be more than happier to put Tim to the side rather than keep him in the picture. Do you see what I'm saying? Because once someone is in love, they are more likely to do certain things that they wouldn't normally do. And look at it this way. In the previous season of The Single Life, she was with the other guy. She wasn't in love with that guy, right? She had feelings for him. She liked him. But she wasn't in love with him. When he broke up with her, of course, she decided to let it be known that she wasn't happy about it. But at the end of the day, she wasn't going to allow that to bring her down. She's going to keep it moving. But in that relationship, which was a short relationship compared to what she had with Jamal, I believe so, she was able to tell Tim to back off. She told him that, hey, I needed to give me space because I can't be walking in anytime with my new guy. My new guy doesn't like it. She never gave Jamal that same treatment. Why? Well, that I guess only Veronica can tell us. But if I'm going to assume it's probably because, one, she probably didn't want to go through the same experience of pushing Tim away, I guess. Or maybe two, she just wasn't really into Jamal as much as she was with the other guy. Or three, she was trying to take things slower with Jamal rather than go in the same way as before. But either way, though, you can't tell me that she was depressed when Jamal decided to, you know, leave her. Like, come on. I ain't buying none of that BS. But nonetheless, though, let's get into the rest of what happened with Veronica and Jamal. Before we do that, we are on the road to 60K subscribers by the end of April. So please do subscribe. Subscribe is free. Just like you watching me right now for free, subscribing gives you the same entitlement. The only difference is, you know what? No. You get my point. And like the video too.
and to a point that because it was just so much just like a normal conversation, like, nope, we're done. And when she asked him very nicely, because I read the text, what I couldn't go because...
You see, here's the thing. I want to know, why did Tim read the text? That is weird. You know, that's not really... Look at it this way, right? If she really wanted to get back with Jamal, she's really that heartbroken, right? She wouldn't have given the text to Tim to read, you know what I mean? She would have kept it to herself, and she would have tried to solve their relationship. You see what I'm saying? She'd have been like, no, hold on a minute. Let's have a conversation about it. Is there things that we can do better, blah, blah, blah. But no, she gave the phone to Tim to read it. For what purpose? I'm just saying to you, these things, they don't add up. And to be fair, they never bloody do. Huh?
My mom was going through a lot of emotional stuff. And you told me, which is you said, oh, Jamal, you don't need to be there for your mom. Just come to me. She can... Why would I want you there?
Didn't even call me.
And what did you say?
Take care, peace sign emoji.
And then what did I do?
Like you're 17.
2 weeks after, so it was done.
You know what though, like, when it comes to communication has been a big issue when it comes to Jamal and Veronica. It's been a big issue from the very jump. And it's crazy how Jamal's saying one thing, but Veronica's saying another thing. That is not to say that she's wrong, and that is not to say that he's wrong. It's to say that your communication just stinks.
I needed space. Told me that just come. You don't need to help her. I'm the only family she has. I moved from New York to California to help her. And Jamal's living with his mom and doesn't have a job, and he's a deadbeat.
No, I never said that.
Because I've had a job this whole time. I have an apartment in the most expensive city in the country.
to be fair, the whole thing about, you know, portraying Jamal as a deadbeat, you know, jobless and all that kind of stuff, that was definitely unacceptable. You know, given the fact that obviously it was a lie, because, you know, since Jamal was come out to defend himself, Veronica has not backtracked on her words. I mean, she has not like come out to say that he's lying, just what I'm saying. So to be honest with you, it's not cool that she was doing this, you know? But here's the thing though, I've said it before the season, Veronica's never been innocent in this situation. You know, she has a huge part to blame. I know people have this agenda where, you know, oh, but Jamal's young, he's immature, you know, he's just an F-boy, blah-de-da-de-da-de-da. Yes, of course he's young. Yes, he may be an F-boy, but it doesn't change the fact that Veronica has so many freaking flaws. Because if she didn't have these flaws, somebody explain to me why she's still single then. I mean, she's not an ugly person, is she now? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Now, I'm not saying that just because somebody has a great personality and they're good looking that they should not be single. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that Veronica has to recognize her behavior. People who are watching Veronica have to also recognize her own flaws. Do you see what I'm saying? Rather than pinning the blame on Jamal all the time. And this is the problem in society. The problem in society is that people always have to have a target. You know, for Veronica, it's like, well, I'm going to just blame Jamal on this and that, and then when Jamal's not, and then when Tim's not there, I'm gonna complain about him behind his back to him. Do you know what I mean? It's like, where is that moment where she sits down and says to herself, do you know what? I need to take myself accountable. Okay, I need to recognize what I'm doing wrong. What can I do better? I need to recognize things that, you know, are going to improve my life as an individual person, that therefore can be better for me when I'm with somebody else. She does no improvements. Can somebody please tell me the difference between Veronica of this season to last season? Where has been the growth? If anything, if you ask me, she seems to have gone backwards this season compared to where she was last season. Last season, she was willing to understand that Tim in her life wasn't a good thing for any partner, so therefore she told him to step aside. But then this season, she's like, no, Tim has to be in my life. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we can talk about having a storyline, blah, 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 but it doesn't change the point that I'm trying to make. Veronica has no growth as a person, and that is her biggest freaking problem. Too busy out here talking about Jamal did this, Jamal did that, he's a teenager. Nah, you're still a freaking teenager too. You know what I mean? We know he's got flaws, you know? 100%. We ain't hiding from that. But people need to recognize that Veronica has a big part to play in the failures of her freaking relationship. And it's not just because of Jamal being young and an F-boy, all right? Freaking mumbo jumbo. I mean, with Jamal, at least when I look at him, I see a young man who's got the potential to actually continuously grow and to become a better person. Do you see what I'm saying? With Veronica now, I see a woman that's been stuck in the same place since God knows when. Tell me where the lie is. Subscribe, because I know you like my channel. Like the video. Let's go.
She told me that she couldn't believe she was dating Jamal since he didn't have any job and he was trash.
Did you really?
I've never called a human trash in my life. Again, trash is not a word I use.
I don't need to elaborate. You know.
I know you don't. That's why I'm surprised. I didn't know you and I had beef, that you're making things up now.
You know, there's a potential chance that maybe Louisa may be making things up. I mean, if she is, it's probably because she's bitter about the fact that Veronica was so, you know, involved in her relationship with Tim. You know what I mean? So there is a potential, but then there's also the potential where Louisa is also telling the truth. I mean, if she's saying this is what happened when Veronica was drunk, well then it may just happen, because a lot of people say a lot of things when they're drunk and then they don't remember it, allegedly. But hey, who knows?
Oh my God.
I'm just telling what happened because it looks like you are super, but you told me that.
Ya, tú moriste conmigo.
And then Veronica's reaction here, and then getting up and storming off, tells me personally that Louisa is probably telling the truth.
For people to so resolutely lie and say, no, you said this. You know, look, I own my I'm someone to try to say that I did something that I didn't do, that I know I didn't do, or know I didn't say, like, that's unnecessary.
That didn't work. I do have a knack of running, you know, and that wasn't fair to you. I should have communicated better. I should have probably put in a more consistent effort.
This is one of the reasons why I say, at least with Jamal, I can see a man that's going to grow and, you know, become a better person as time goes by, because he was able to hold his hands up, you know what I'm saying? And say, you know what, maybe the way I went about the breakup wasn't proper. Maybe I should have gone about it completely differently. And he's owning up to his own mistake, or his own behavior, shall I say. When does Veronica ever do that? When does Tim ever do that? I will never understand people that have to always side with Tim or always have to side with Veronica, like, because them two are not sayings to the freaking slightest. Do you see what I'm saying? At the end of the day in life, we have to open up our eyes to the full picture, not just a part of the picture. Do you see what I'm saying? Jamal was a part of the picture. He was a part of the problem. Veronica was also a part of the picture, and she was also part of the problem too. Tim was also part of the picture, and he was also part of the problem too. The blame goes to every single one of them. Do you see what I'm saying? One may get it more than the other, but that's just the way it can be sometimes. You see what I'm saying? And in this situation right here, all I can say is this, without putting blame, all I would say is that Veronica has to really go home and really have her self-reflect on her life, you know what I mean, herself and where she wants to go moving forward, you see what I'm saying, okay? And remember this, right? When people go out there to better themselves, okay, the most key thing in the world that I personally believe in is this, right? Do not better yourself to be the perfect person in a relationship for somebody else. Better yourself to be the perfect person for yourself. It's called self-love. The moment that you can better yourself for yourself and you can start to love yourself truly for your full potential of who you're supposed to be, right, is the moment that ideally you're going to come across the right person. A lot of times people think they know what they want from a relationship, or they think they know what they want from somebody else. But how do we know what we really want from somebody else or what we want from a relationship if we don't even know who we are? Once we know who we are and we start to figure out what things that we actually need in life from other people, that's the moment we really need to go out there and seek somebody. And Veronica isn't at that stage. A lot of people aren't at that stage, you see what I'm saying, okay? And that is a conversation that a lot of people just don't want to have with themselves, you know, because I can say for myself in particular, when I've done a lot of self-reflecting on myself to better myself and to get myself in a position where I can be happy within myself and love myself, I've got to a point where I've started to realize that, hold on a minute, these are all the things that I actually like about myself. These are the things that make me happy. These are the things that actually make me tick. So you know what, now I know these things about myself with so much more other things I still have to learn, because in life we always learn, we never stop. But people that want to learn and actually evolve always learn, they never stop. This is what I'm saying. People that want to be stagnant, different conversation. But at the end of the day though, by doing that, that's put me in a position where I've been like, you know what, now I know what I actually need from somebody else. You see what I'm saying, okay? And if I can't get these things from somebody else, well then this person probably isn't for me. And the reason I say that is because if I know what makes me happy and I know the key things that keep me going and keep me motivated and keep me just being me, I've got to make sure I'm bringing someone in who can add to the value of me, you see what I'm saying? But also at the same time though, I can also add to the value of them, you see what I'm saying? But again, that's just based on me as a person, you see what I'm saying? I'm like, but I'll leave it as that. And we're not talking about myself too much. Either way though, Veronica's one of those people that really and truly, you cannot tell me that this woman knows 1000% who she is, what makes her happy, all that kind of stuff, because her life is right now predominantly based on Tim must be in my life. What's that gonna do? You know, make it make sense, okay? Make it make sense. You know, we all have to look at ourselves. If we are not so reflecting once a month or maybe once every few months or something like that, or maybe once a week or whatever like that, that's a problem. If you live a whole year and you haven't even looked at yourself and thought, oh, what can I improve about myself? And what new can I find out about myself? You're stagnant, whether you like it or not. Nonetheless though, let me know what you're thinking down below in the comment section. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.